was in Cuenca with my boyfriend Andres. We are on vacation. We went to a museum because I showed Cuenca to him for the reason that he doesn't know anything about that city. Suddenly, we saw on the wall a map of Atahualpa's treasure. At the same moment, I received a call from my mother-in-law because she is worried about her son. We immediately decided to travel to Napo because Tena is the next step for our trip. My boyfriend had to buy the airplane tickets from Cuenca to Guayaquil. We arrived to Guayaquil and 2 hours later we take a bus and travel to the Amazonia region. When we arrived to Napo, we went to the hotel to take a nap for the large trip that we had. At 11 o'clock, the guide of the hotel offered us a tour to know the near territory where we are. In the place I met with Andrea. She was with her mother. Before the tour started, I waited my boyfriend who is with a native person. In the tour, my boyfriend and I disappeared. He returned to the hotel to pick up his wallet. Then I found the place that the treasure is and I shout, "I find it." The rest of the group returns to the place where I was and Nicole was with her sister and used a metal detector. It helps us to find the treasure. All of us start to dig that. We have a common objective, find the treasure, to buy the things that all of us need. We're bringing out the chest of the ground, but we don't know the correct way to open. Andrea should keep us because she has many instructions to open the chest. When the chest is open, we notice that there is a gold coins. After that, I say that treasure is mine. If my boyfriend hadn't met with the native person, we might not find the treasure. We return all the end of the afternoon to the hotel. There, we start to fight for the treasure and I refer again that treasure is mine because if I hadn't returned with my boyfriend to hotel, all of us couldn't hear my shout and never imagined to open the treasure chest. The police officer and the government minister asked me a few questions about the treasure. I answered them. I don't know in what moment I changed my idea to visit Tena, not to search Atahualpa treasure.
Hi, I'm Nicole. I'm going to talk about my version of the treasure hunters. I remember that I was on my job and I received a mail by my boss. He wanted a new TV report. After that, I searched for places and information, and I found a place where Atahualpa's treasure was possibly buried. In that moment, I decided to travel to Napo with my camera person. We traveled on the TV channel's van. I remember that I drove the van for 5 hours, and when we arrived to Napo, we met to Roberto. I think that he was the owner of the hotel, and he said me that at 11 o'clock, all of the guests of the hotel will have a tour, and he invited me to the tour. I accept because I was excited about the place and culture, and I wanted to show to my TV channel all of culture and places and all the things that we can find in Napo. And during the tour, I met to Andres, Andrea, Pamela, and I thought that Andres was the personal guide of Pamela because he looked like a native person. I thought that Andrea was an archaeologist that looked for a treasure. In that moment, I noticed that every guest was looking for the treasure, and I thought I must have a plan because I really wanted to find the treasure. So Angie, my camera person, and I decided to separate from the group. We went to the store and I bought a metal detector. After, when Angie and I returned with the group, we heard to Pamela and she shouted something. We ran fast and I turned out the metal detector. When we arrived, the place where Pamela screamed, we noticed that she found the place of the treasure, but she didn't know where to dig. Then I went to action with my metal detector. Meanwhile, Angie was filming as much as she could. If you review the Angie's camera, you will notice who found the place where to dig, the place where the treasure was exactly buried. And that person was me. For this reason, the treasure is mine. However, when I found where to dig, everybody helped me, but I thought that was unnecessary because the treasure obviously was mine. When we uncovered the treasure, we didn't know how to open it, so Andrea helped me because she had a special map with instructions. I don't know, but she helped me. When we finally opened the treasure, everybody started to fight because everybody wanted to take out my treasure. Even Roberto believed that the treasure was for him because it buried in his property. It's not my fault that he didn't know that the treasure was buried in his property. I must confess that at the beginning I was a little skeptical about the treasure, but now I'm sure that the treasure is mine. I know that everybody needs it, but if I don't have my metal detector, nobody will have the treasure.
Well, that everything started last week. Last week, I was playing my cello, and suddenly my D string snapped. It was terrible for me. I started immediately. I started searching a new string or a reserve string inside my case, and well, inside my case, I found a very strange paper, and it was a map. That map leads to a hidden treasure in Naples. Immediately, I take bus and I travel to Tena. Then, in Tena, I found such a peculiar girl. Her name was Pamela. She was dressed with a brown dress, and yeah, she had a feather crown. I thought she was crazy, but you are walking in the street with a feather crown. Well, Pamela convinced me to hire Roberto to hire a city tour, regional tour, and well, I accepted because I need to know very well the place. Then I knew that Roberto was a native person, and I talked to him and I hired him to lead me to a specific place that the map lets me. He accepted, but well, he didn't tell me what will happen then. Then we were on the tour, we were in the jungle, into the jungle, and suddenly Pamela started screaming, I found it. And we didn't know what happened. Also, I have to tell you, and in the tour, I met Andres. And Andres, well, I think he's nice, he's cute, he's handsome, but I'm still feeling annoying with him because he started flirting with me. And it's uncomfortable for me with something is strange. The moment when I hired Roberto was when Pamela and Andres, I thought he was her brother, they went. I don't know where, but they disappeared for a while. But well, returning to the story, when Pamela when Pamela found the treasure, he started screaming, I found it, and immediately Roberto and me went to the place, and then we find I find Nicole. Nicole is a journalist, but I think she's a little bit like a grave robber because she had a metal detector. Well, at this moment, we started fighting. Everyone said that the treasure belongs to everyone. Pamela said that she came first, and for this reason, the treasure is for her. Nicole said that she had a metal detector, and for this reason, the treasure is for her. I said that the treasure is mine because only my map has the keys about how to open it. For this reason, the treasure belongs to me. But what a surprise! Also, Roberto said that the treasure was for him. He said that the treasure was buried on his property. Well, what a nightmare it was. Suddenly, police appeared. I think that Nicole called him. Police appeared. They took our treasure. And that's all. My treasure has gone.
I am Roberto. I am going to talk about my version of the treasure hunters. In the history, I am a native guide and work in the hotel where I met some people who have the same goal. Nobody knows about the objectives of the others. They are going to stay at the hotel that I work. When I talk with each one, I learned their histories. Their histories are very interesting, but there is a doubt in me. What is really the purpose of their trip? I am going to tell you the story of these people. Pamela and her cousin arrived first. They came from Cuenca. Then Pamela's sister arrived and her name is Andrea. She came from Ambato. Nicole arrived alone and in the end, she came from Quito and works from a well-known television channel. Pamela's cousins hired me to guide in a tour, which began at 11 o'clock. In the course of the tour, Nicole got lost in the jungle. I don't know what moment she got lost because she was with the group. But that is not all. During the tour, Pamela, her cousin, and Andrea started to fight because Andrea began to flirt with Andres. I need to believe that Pamela's cousin doesn't like Andrea. Pamela was mad and according to me, she left to the hotel. But these people are very strange. I say they are strange because even though Nicole came alone, she came again with a camera person and a metal detector. If I were them, I would enjoy the tour. I couldn't have seemed so happy if I had not lived in Napo. To go back to the history of these crazy people, Andrea is the only one that was not lost, because even the cousin of Pamela left back to Cuenca. The most fun comes now, and was something that surprised me a lot. I was on the tour with the rest of the people and suddenly we heard Pamela shout, I found it, yeah, I found it. Everyone asked, what did you find? She said, I found the treasure. In that moment I noticed what are they doing in my property? We ran to where was Pamela and Nicole said, prepare the camera for the best news in the world. Nicole turned on her metal detector and found a treasure with Pamela, her cousin, and Andrea. They all started celebrating, and Nicole started interviewing the treasure hunters. But I checked the map, and what they didn't know was that the tour was going through my territory. Then I damaged the party because the treasure was in my territory. Then it was mine. But I was also damaged the party because unfortunately claimed the treasure because it was considered heritage site of Ecuador.